what are the other barometers, and who is failing now? Who is suffering or about to suffer the most from the failure of government to be involved in these investments that you're talking about?
We're not just underperforming our past, which you might argue was just this very distinctive period, but we're underperforming a lot of other rich democracies in these areas. And the height is not an end in itself, but it's worth noting that during World War II we were a couple inches taller than the Germans we were fighting, and now we're way below Western Europe in average height, and that's not just because of immigration. It's a kind of measure of social health that tells us of a lot of other changes that are taking place, and you see it most starkly with younger Americans. And the one thing I would say is that we're now seeing these very same trends play out in white America that were much more prevalent in black America, is driving home a message that is uncomfortable, but is true, is that part of the reason that this anti-government sentiment has risen is that after the Civil Rights Act and the shift of the South into the Republican fold, this race became a very clear dividing line between the parties in a way it hadn't been before, because before we were not confronting this in the same way. And that as it did, the anti-government rhetoric was racialized. That is to say that when people talked about us and them, or those who are dependent on government, for a lot of people, white people, it was a picture of someone other than them, different skin color. And so I hope that these trends that are bringing some of these same challenges to white America will help reverse that. At the moment, it seems right that that's not happening. That in fact, that the anger and angst and despair that's being produced, right, is creating this cauldron of discontent with government. But the fact is that all Americans benefit from well-functioning government. And in many ways, those who are facing the most challenging economic prospects and social prospects right now would benefit the most. And so we don't think of this as a story about how we have to help the people left behind, because in fact, our story, our history, is really a story about these huge investments that helped everybody in really profound ways. And those are the kinds of investments we need to start making on an intense and long-term level today.